Chapter 2.
Draco shifted uncomfortably in his seat. "It's not like I've never heard of an elf wanting freedom," he confessed, regretting it when he saw the gleam in her eyes. "But those cases are uncommon. Maybe an elf who wants more than servitude shouldn't be forced into it, but they'd need a new place or system to transition into, or else they'd be without a niche. Couldn't other wizards employ them and pay for their work?" Hermione queried. It became apparent why she had started that absurd spew campaign in fourth year. No one had explained this properly to her. Draco had grasped such matters long before he could walk. That's because house elves see all. Their magic differs. They can apparate anywhere, do things wizards cannot. Wizard households cherish their secrets. My family is no exception. Unless an elf is bound by magic to a family, ensuring they can't badmouth them, no affluent wizard would hire one, paid or otherwise, whom they couldn't trust to keep secrets. The core issue, then, Hermione countered, lies in wizards' distrust, not some inherent untrustworthiness of elves. Draco let out a groan as he flopped backward onto his bed. "Merlin, Hermione, you wear me out. Perhaps, one day when you're older, you could enact change, but not immediately. Progress should come legislatively. Jumping straight to emancipation is impractical. Few desire it, neither masters nor elves. To aid them, you'd focus on initial rights like protection from harsh penalties, better working conditions, or self-determination rights." Hermione lay back beside him, and he absently toyed with her turquoise bracelet charms. An unfamiliar warmth spread through his chest, a comfort he'd never known with others, not even Vince, Greg, or Theo. Over her visit, he realized Hermione might be his first actual friend. "You're intelligent, Draco," she remarked with admiration, prompting him to roll his eyes instead of showing his gratitude. "Maybe gradual change is feasible. But I wish I could act now, for elves yearning for freedom. More might want it if options existed, as you noted, and if they could learn and think differently. Before my Hogwarts letter, I never wished to be a witch because I didn't know it was possible." "It's infuriating," Draco sighed, "how long I've had with magic compared to you." Draco had, in fact, recently turned both 19 and 12. "Yet you still ended up top of the year, not me." "You should have studied history of magic with me," she teased. "If you did harbor those biases, this ought to have stung. A muggle-born besting you in your history." She laughed at his disgruntled look. "Don't worry, your parents won't hear. Your mother was astonished by the bracelet you made me. Why didn't you say it was a replica? She showed me hers." "And have you think I designed it solo?" "Great," Draco muttered. "Now you see the real deal, and how mine pales." Hermione raised her bracelet, admiringly. "I think mine's more vibrant than your mother's. But keep that between us." "I share nothing with my mother these days," Draco sighed. "You really don't, huh? Remember her shock seeing us on your bed? She won't believe you're gay, will she?" Hermione giggled. Draco grinned slyly. "I spun it cleverly. Claimed it was a rumor by Seamus Finnegan since I bested him in potions. Said I didn't squash it at 11 since there was ample time to secure a pure-blood marriage match. It also diverted attention from rumors about dating you, since you're a girl, which of course, I'm not, being just a study partner, because you're becoming an unspeakable," Hermione replied, completing his sentence. "Haven't changed views on Muggleborns or blood purity," he continued theatrically. "You're just the exception. I defend you from mudblood slurs only since it disrespects a Malfoy public associate." Hermione's expression clouded with doubt. "But none of that's true, right? It's just for your father's peace of mind. Pureblood supremacy isn't your belief anymore." Draco wasn't entirely sure of his beliefs now. His feelings about Hermione had changed, but general views were muddled. His only certainty lay in his disdain for the noseless dark force whose ideology had brought woe to his family. "Definitely not," he assured, poking Hermione gently with a Moogie's colorful tail. Having Hermione at the manor was delightful, but eventually, duty called for a reciprocal visit. Via flow, Draco traveled to Diagon Alley, but beyond that, it was his journey alone. None of the grown-ups had accompanied him to the non-magical part of London, nor would they be around to shield him from the unpredictable behavior of Muggles once he ventured among them. The sole Muggle with whom Draco had engaged in any significant conversation was Potter's bulbous uncle, an encounter unpleasant enough that Draco had considered using his signature Langlock spell on the man. Still, it wouldn't do to go around cursing every Muggle that irritated him, tempting though it might be. Thus, Draco tucked his wizard robes into his suitcase and donned a hooded jacket, courtesy of Hermione's Christmas generosity. At the time, seeing the garment had been unfortunate enough, and now wearing it was a further indignity, but there he was. He discreetly checked the position of his wand to ensure it remained hidden but accessible, and then proceeded through the leaky cauldron, stepping out into the bustling, unfamiliar territory teeming with Muggles, towering buildings, and peculiar transport machines known as automobiles. Draco hurriedly retreated to the curb's edge as a vehicle zoomed perilously close, honking explosively in indignation. He watched, astonished, as other vehicles joined in, echoing their irritation. With his heart pounding, the thought sent shivers down his spine, a near brush with death at the hands of a Muggle motor vehicle after surviving Voldemort and Azkaban no less. Draco cautiously withdrew to the confines of the sidewalk where, unfortunately, he became a hindrance to the crowd of passers-by. Where was one to stand if not in the streets? Shouldn't these metal beasts yield to him or rise into the air amidst these overwhelmingly lofty edifices? His fingers twitched with the impulse to curse the lot. Draco. Hermione's enthusiastic voice rang out from the opposite side of the thoroughfare, and he discerned her wave beside one of the colorful death machines, a blue one, her attire blending with her surroundings, clad in jeans and a pink hoodie. She must have used a portkey or the Flo network, he surmised. Raising his hand in acknowledgement, not rudely, he thought, Draco noticed, with mounting vexation, that none of the fast-moving vehicles seemed inclined to create a path for him. Did Muggles lack this basic decency? Use the crosswalk, Draco, she urged. Despite his inaction, Hermione bravely threaded her way through the sea of pedestrians, making her way towards him. Hermione! Draco called out, attracting curious glances. Don't abandon me here. He clutched his suitcase closely, fearing the rushing throng of pedestrians would refuse him passage if he attempted to retreat to the leaky cauldron, justified as such an action might be faced with these metallic monsters. I'm coming to fetch you, she called back. Astonishingly, all vehicles came to a halt for her, obediently waiting as if she commanded them with regality. Could they perceive he wasn't one of them? Would these Muggle machines attack him? Draco, I told you to use the crosswalk, she stated, slightly annoyed, devoid of sympathy for his palpable anxiety. She seized his hand and directed him towards the pedestrian demarcation she had emerged from. Come on. Mum and Dad have been awaiting us for ages. Upon reaching the area marked by distinct lines, Draco attempted to step onto the roadway, hauling his suitcase behind him. But you're a Muggle, Draco pointed out. Muggle-born, at least, he amended. These mechanical contraptions stopped for you of their own volition. I observed it. Let's cross together. Perhaps they'll let us by if I stick close and pretend to belong. What? She was incredulous. Then, astoundingly, she chuckled, a gesture Draco thought poorly timed. We need to wait for the light to change, Draco. Look, there it goes. Why do they use such enchantments in public places? Isn't it a breach of the statute of secrecy? Draco whispered as she took his suitcase, her disapproving gaze noticing its peculiar lightness, and led him through to safety on the opposite sidewalk. He exhaled, surveying the throng of bustling vehicles amazed, and asked as she directed him to the intimidating blue machine. Do the green lights charm the vehicles to stop at intervals? Is it magic that compels them?
No, Draco.
Humans guide them, Hermione explained patiently. They observe the traffic lights to discern when to pause and when to proceed. See those large lights overhead? She gestured to luminescent circular indicators suspended above, which Draco regarded apprehensively before cautiously approaching the vehicle beast. Yikes. Draco recoiled back as the monstrous machine's compartment sprang open at his proximity. "I opened the trunk for you," a male voice announced. A man with similar features to Hermione appeared, emerging from a door in the contraption. "Hello there, Draco. Pleased to finally meet you. I'm Wilfred Granger." Extending a handshake, which Draco accepted with as much composure as he could feign, enduring the trepidation of the creature's gaping enclosure. Would it remain docile under control of its muggle keepers? It reminded Draco of hippogriffs, but as if the school had been crawling with them. "Nice hoodie. Shall I help with your bag?" "Oh, it's awfully light. Have you packed anything at all?" The man's friendliness took Draco by surprise, unfamiliar given their newly established acquaintanceship, and prompted by Hermione's poke, Draco responded. "It's, He cautiously leaned in, careful not to breach the statute of secrecy. Nevertheless, he felt nearly sure this muggle was an exception. Enchanted, he confided with deliberate solemnity, earning an eye roll from Hermione.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this chapter, please hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated with more audiobooks. Happy listening!